Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all another Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be a no-you battle, and my opponent for it is going to be Selbaj10 once again. This is someone that he's probably one of the last people that I've actually battled in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that's actually battling today besides the Killer Nacho. So I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll definitely battle you once again. He wanted to try me this time in OU, because we already battled in UU this time around in Generation 7, and he wanted to try me in OU this time. I was like, okay. I decided to use this team once again. It's because the thing is that I like this team, and this is a team that I made as well, and I kind of don't like that I've been losing with this team so much, because I've been doing so well with the team, but I'm just losing in the end, which is kind of annoying. So I just kind of want to try this team a couple more times so I can at least get a couple wins with it. So, and I'm hoping I can do so with Selbaj here, who I've been getting the better end out of him when it comes to battling, basically. So yeah, I was hoping that this team can okay, it already puts work, but I'm just hoping for a win this time. So let's see what we can get out of Selbaj10 here. So here he's gonna lead off with Tapu Fini, which is Fini, and I'm gonna lead off with Lopunny, which is my Mega. And here this Lopunny is a Power Punch variant, so Power Punch variant, yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna go for it right here. I'm gonna stay as regular Lopunny just to get the +1. I was curious about this Tapu Fini. I wanted to see if it can actually take a return after a +1 as regular Lopunny, and I wanted to see how much this Moonblast did as well. Because it did under half, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna stay as regular Lopunny and go for a return just to get some damage on this Tapu Fini. Because Tapu Finis, while they have leftovers, they don't have reliable recovery, which means that if I can cripple it quick enough, this thing will not be that big of an issue. So here he goes for Skull after going for Moonblast, which is kind of odd, because honestly, if what he was hoping for was the burn here, it's not gonna get it because the terrain is up, the Misty terrain is up. So here, because of the damage that I did with Earth return here, I was thinking, you know what, I'll definitely Mega Evolve right here and just go for another return and take out this Tapu Fini, which will be really, really nice, because then he can't Defog, he can't Taunt, and he can't Moonblast me. So, but here, he's going to see that coming, and he's going to go into Scizor as I go for the return here. It does over a quarter, which is really, really nice, but I'm definitely tempted to switch out right here, because my Lopunny only has a quarter of HP left, and I don't want this thing to go down to a Bullet Punch from the Scizor, which is exactly what he's going to go for right here, as he turns out to be a Mega Scizor. Here I go into Garchomp, hoping that he does go for the Bullet Punch, which he does, and take Rocky Helmet damage as well as Rough Skin. And looking at the damage that this thing did, I was definitely confident in just going for the rocks here. If he tries to Swords Dance, that's fine, because this Garchomp does have Dragon Tail to phase this Scizor out, and so that it doesn't get away with just setting up the Swords Dance, or just staying with the Swords Dance and just spamming Bullet Punch on the entirety of my team. So yeah, here I go for rocks, but he's gonna go back into Tapu Fini, which I wanted to stay in and just go for Toxic right here, but because the Misty Terrain was gone. But the thing was that I didn't want him to just stay in and take out my Garchomp with a Moonblast either, so I just decided to hard switch into Ferrothorn right here. He, interestingly enough, does go for Defog, which is good on his part, because he definitely scared me away. I was gonna go for Toxic, but I was scared of the Moonblast, so I went into Ferrothorn as a result. Now here he's going to switch out and go into Zapdos. I think I went for the knockoff because I wanted to knock off the leftovers from Tapu Fini if he tries to go for Taunt on my Ferrothorn. But he actually goes into Zapdos, and as a result, here I knock off Zapdos' item, which turns out to be a Life Orb, which is actually kind of odd, because I don't think I've ever seen Life Orb Zapdos. But this instantly tells me that maybe this is an offensive Zapdos, or maybe a cheeky defensive Zapdos with Life Orb, which is kind of weird in all honesty. But yeah, so here he's gonna go for Heat Wave, expecting me to just stay in and do something else, maybe a Leech Seed or something. But I just hard switch into Zapdos on my own, and then proceed to just go for Hidden Power Isis. Looking at that damage, I wasn't certain I would be able to take it out with another one, but because I had no switch-ins to a Zapdos with Heat Wave and Hidden Power Ice, I just decided to go for another one. And surprisingly enough, this one seemed to have done enough just to take out the Zapdos, which is really, really good, because if I lost Zapdos right here, this could have been problematic in all honesty. But here he's gonna go into Heatran, which does resist the Hidden Power Ice. I am Scarfed on this Zapdos, so I'm definitely locked in the Hidden Power Ice, and I cannot do anything to Heatran, so I have to switch out. Here I go into Tapu Fini, because Tapu Fini can definitely take a hit from Heatran, even if it's the Bloom Doom Heatran variant, basically. So here he's gonna switch out because he doesn't want to take a Surf, and I'm just gonna go for the Nature's Madness. I wanted to cut something's HP in half, in all honesty, and I didn't think Surf would do that much damage anyway, so I decided to go for Nature's Madness here. He ends up going into Among Us in the process, whatever result. But yeah, and here I'm gonna switch out and go into Garchomp, because I don't want my Tapu Fini to go down yet. I feel like it's very, very useful against mons like Zygarde or something. So here I think here I just go for Earthquake just to get some damage on this Among Us, because I feel like this Among Us is the one thing that can actually kind of wall the rest of my team if I don't like play offensively against it. This Garchomp is a defensive variant as well, but it's still powerful enough to dish out some damage while also like spamming Earthquake and whatnot. So here I just kept going for Earthquake. He does switch out to, you know, get some regenerator HP back. And he's going to go into Tapu Fini, which doesn't take this Earthquake really well, thanks to that crit. But even then, I think it would have still been a 2-hit KO anyways. So here, I think he lets it go down. I think. No, he does not. He actually switches out the Tapu Fini and goes into Scizor. Why, I'm not really sure, because now this thing is going to also take an Earthquake. And he's going to go for Bullet Punch after this, sure. But my Garchomp is definitely going to survive this. And it's going to still survive. Yeah, and it's gonna take it out with another Earthquake, basically. Garchomp to Scizor, that is. Now here's where I actually once again ask myself, why did he switch out Tapu Fini here? Because you're gonna see right here, he's gonna send out Tapu Fini once again, the one he switched into earlier, and then switched out into Scizor. But I was gonna go for another Earthquake, as you saw already, but this Tapu Fini turned out to outspeed me in the first place, so I was like, why didn't he just go for Moonblast then? Maybe he thought that this Garchomp was probably fast enough to outspeed Tapu Fini, but I actually was not expecting a fast Fini in all honesty. I don't think this Garchomp was max speed invested, but I thought that even then, it would definitely be able to outspeed Tapu Fini, but I guess not, because this, and maybe that explains why the damage on Tapu Fini from Mega Lopunny was significant earlier as well, because maybe this wasn't invested in any defense whatsoever. So that's actually kind of interesting. This guy brought a lot of sets I wasn't expecting, in all honesty. So here comes Zygarde. I switch out into Ferrothorn because I was afraid of the E-Speed. I didn't want to lose Mega Lopunny to an E-Speed from Zygarde. However, this thing does go for Dragon Dance, predicting me to switch out, which is kind of annoying. Now here, I just had to go for a Leech Seed and hope for goodness sake that he does not have Substitute on the Zygarde, because Substitute Zygarde with Dragon Dance is very common, and it would scare the living daylights out of me if he turns out to have it as well. But thankfully he just went for another Dragon Dance, which tells me that maybe, just maybe, he doesn't have Substitute on this Zygarde, and he just wanted to get the +2 so that he can literally destroy everything as soon as he gets the +2. I just take 1,000 arrows at +2 and allows me to knock off its item. It turns out to be a weakness policy, which makes me super glad I did not just one-shot this thing with any super effective move. Or yeah, I didn't hit anything. I didn't hit the Zygarde with a super effective move, basically, because if I did, it would probably survive and then activate the weakness policy and then go for Dragon Dances and then just E-Speed sweep me or something. Even though I have Mimikyu in the back of the team, but, you know, it would have done a lot to my team if the weakness policy had activated, is basically what I'm saying. But here, yeah, so Leech Seed, I'm just going to get some, I take another 1,000 arrows, which is kind of interesting. And I'm just going to get some more Leech Seed recovery. But here is where I'm not going to be able to survive another Leech Seed. 1,000 arrows from Zygarde because it's at +2. I was only able to take 2, which is actually kind of impressive enough in all honesty with Ferrothorn. But now here's where I send out Mimikyu. And this Mimikyu does have the Fairy MZ, so that I can actually just 100% hit the damn Play Rough instead of just having the risk missing with it. Because this Zygarde is at +2 right now, and I do not want to risk anything right now. So here's where I pop out the Fairy MZ, boosted by Play Rough here, in the form of Twinkle Tackle. Because, yeah, before, like in the battle that I had with Mewtwo fan Nate, this Mimikyu did have Ghost MZ, which would have been all never-ending nightmare. But because the Play Rough missed in that battle, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just put it on the Fairy. Like, let's give it Fairy MZ instead, because I don't want to risk missing Play Rough in another situation like this where something has already set up and then it's just gonna take Mimikyu's disguise off, take a hit or miss, and then I would just lose the whole battle because of it. So definitely decided to run Fairy MZ this time around, which is, I think, working better so far, but who knows, anything can change. Anyways, here I send out Tapu Fini. I switched it out from Mimikyu because he sends out Heatran and I didn't want to lose Mimikyu yet. I felt like that thing could still probably be useful against the Amoonguss, because I could set up a Swords Dance and then proceed to Shadow Claw it to death afterwards. So I decided to sack Tapu Fini, which can literally do nothing to Amoonguss. So here he ends up popping out the Z-Steel or the Corkscrew Crash on Tapu Fini, but this Tapu Fini is actually a Spadef variant, I believe, which is why it took it so well right here, despite Corkscrew Crash being stabbed on Heatran. So here I go for Nature's Madness because once again I just wanted to cripple the Heatran, because the Heatran is really healthy right now. But he goes into Amoonguss and I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Because what I want to do right here now is just kind of, well, first I go for Taunt, because I wanted to prevent this thing from sporing, synthesizing, or leash seeding, or whatever this thing can get that's very passive. I just wanted this thing to be offensive and just take out my Tapu Fini. Reason being is just because I wanted to send in Lopunny without having to take any damage, because my Lopunny is weakened, and I was confident that after going for more Nature's Madnesses that it would leave it in range for a return from Mega Lopunny to just take out the Amoonguss, unless he decides to switch out. But even then, he can only switch out so many times now, given that he only has 2 Pokemon on his team left. So, and I don't think he's in conditions to be switching in the Heatran right now, considering he's facing a Tapu Fini. So here he finally takes out my Tapu Fini with a Giga Drain. So now I finally get the free switch into Lopunny that I wanted. And this Lopunny is pretty much going to late game, or yeah, it's going to basically clean up the entirety of this battle, because this Amoonguss is going to go down to a return, and Heatran is going to go down to a Drain Punch as well. So yeah, that's going to be the whole game. Good game to the Selbaj once again. It was actually kind of fun battling him for a 3rd time. It's because, like, I mean, this guy is for some reason kind of nostalgic. Like, the fact that we both battled like so long ago, and the fact that we're battling today kind of just, it gives me a very nostalgic feeling. So, oh yeah, and by the way, the Drain Punch did not actually KO Heatran. It survived surprisingly enough, but he did not go for Magma Storm because he did not want to miss or something. And or maybe he just thought he was gonna lose the Heatran to a Drain Punch, or maybe through High Jump Kick. But I do actually take it out with a return right here now, because I survived a Flash Cannon. Had he gone for Magma Storm there, he would have probably taken me out. It was definitely worth going for it, considering that was his last Pokemon. But yeah, he didn't do that. So yeah, that's gonna be the whole game. Once again, good game to Selbaj10. Thank you all for watching this battle. I'll catch you guys all for the next battle, but for now, just take it easy.